Right now, there's a voice in your head reading these words. You hear it as yourself. You assume it is you. But neuroscientists have spent decades studying that voice. And what they found is deeply unsettling, because the voice and the self that's listening to it might not be the same thing at all. Here's the first problem. In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet wired volunteers to a brain scanner and asked them to do one simple thing: flick their wrist whenever they felt like it. Their choice, their moment. He measured two things: the moment the brain started preparing the movement, and the moment the person consciously decided to move. The result should have been front-page news. The brain moved first. Up to half a second before the person felt they'd made any decision at all, the choice had already been made. Somewhere underneath, in the dark, without them, the conscious experience of deciding, it came after, like a narrator reading from a script that someone else already wrote. Try something right now. Don't plan this. Just let your hand move. Tap your finger whenever you feel like it. Did you decide to do that? Or did you just become aware that it was already happening? Libet's interpretation remains debated, but the data has never been refuted, and it points to a question nobody has cleanly answered. If your brain is making decisions before you're aware of them, what exactly is the voice in your head doing? It isn't leading, it's following. It thinks it's the author, but it's reading the story after it's already been written. And here's where it gets stranger. Psychologist Charles Fernyhough spent years recording and analyzing inner speech at Durham University. What he expected to find was a single unified voice, the self talking to itself. What he actually found was a committee. The inner voice doesn't speak in one tone. It fragments, it argues, it contradicts itself. It takes on different positions, different emotions, sometimes completely different personalities. One part of you says you can do it. Another part says you can't. A third part watches the argument and says nothing. Fernyhough's research suggested, not proven, suggested, that the voice wasn't generated from within. It was built from the outside. It developed as an internalization of external conversations, the voices of parents, teachers, people who shaped you before you had any say in the matter. The voice you call yours was built by people you didn't choose, in a language you hadn't learned yet, about a person you hadn't become. Now, here's the revelation that changes everything you've heard so far. You have never once in your entire life heard that voice go silent. Not really. It was there when you woke up this morning. It was there before you fell asleep last night. It has been running without interruption since you were old enough to form sentences. And in all that time, it never once introduced itself. It never said where it came from. It was just there. And you assumed it was you. But you didn't choose it. You didn't build it. You inherited it. So now think about this. That voice at 3 a.m., the one that tells you that you're failing, that replays the conversation from 3 years ago and rewrites what you should have said, that tells you the thing you're most afraid of is probably true. That voice knows your exact fears. It uses your specific memories. It feels like the most honest thing in the world. It feels like the truth because it has your voice. But it was built from the outside in. It has been running unquestioned your entire life. And the things it tells you about who you are, they feel certain, but they are not facts. They are just the story that's been told so many times it stopped feeling like a story. This isn't new information. Buddhism identified this 2,500 years ago. The self is not a thing sitting behind your eyes running the show. It's a story being told in real time by a narrator who showed up late and has been improvising ever since. Modern neuroscience is arriving at the same place, just with brain scanners instead of meditation cushions. Here's what nobody tells you. Every thought you've ever had about yourself, your abilities, your worth, your ceiling, passed through that voice first. And you believed it, not because it was true, but because there was nothing else in there to disagree with it. What if the voice has been wrong about you? Not occasionally, systematically, for years. What if you are not the voice at all? What if you are whatever is listening to it, the part that just noticed the voice was there? Because that part, the one reading these words right now, the one that just became aware of the voice, that part has been quiet your whole life, and it has never once told you who you are. So here's the question that might keep you up tonight. If the voice isn't you, then who has been living your life?